Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now a massive hidden warning signal is flashing on the Bitcoin chart while the price is continuing to play out this overbought signal here in the short term, while Ethereum and Solana are also still playing out these overbought signals here in the short term. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and nothing has really changed on this chart over the last 1 day, so getting straight into the 2-day time frame, and the same can be said about this chart right here. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about these two charts right here, then check out my last video here on the channel. So getting straight into this daily Bitcoin chart, looking at the DXY, and of course the DXY is closed for weekends, which means there's nothing new to talk about on this chart. So if you're new to the channel, check out my last video. And so getting straight into this daily Bitcoin chart, what is now flashing right now on the daily time frame is a hidden bearish divergence, which is a warning signal that we need to pay attention to, where we basically have lower highs now flashing in the Bitcoin price chart and higher highs already confirmed in the Bitcoin RSI on the daily time frame. And now a traditional bearish divergence is when we see higher highs confirmed in the price in the candle closes and lower highs in the RSI. That's a traditional bearish divergence. But once again, this here is a hidden bearish divergence, which usually is not as strong as a regular bearish divergence, a traditional bearish divergence. But this is a trend continuation pattern, basically pointing towards the continuation of the larger bearish trend that I've been talking about for a long time now on the channel. But with that being said, it is important to understand that right now this signal is flashing and not confirmed. So right now, the hidden bearish divergence that is forming right now, it's flashing right now, but it is not yet confirmed. It is not playing out at all as of right now, because at least for now, we still need to confirm at least one, but ideally 2 red candle closes confirming here on the daily time frame. So basically 2 days of red price action confirming in the candle closes. And so far, we have not actually seen that, at least as of right now. And so once again, that means the hidden bearish divergence is not yet confirmed because we haven't confirmed the lower high in place, at least as of right now, in the candle closes in the price action. So for all we know, if we create a new higher high here in the price action above this previous high, so breaking out above around 64,500 here in the candle closes, then that would create a higher high in the price and a higher high in the RSI, which means there's no divergence. And so in other words, we need to see a breakout above this resistance, above 64,500 in the next few days if this bullish trend is going to continue. So in order for this bullish trend to continue, once again, we need to see a breakout in the next few days above 64,500. Otherwise, if we continue to struggle here and continue to see a short-term rejection over the next few days, it's very likely that we'll see a continuation of the larger bearish trend. And as for support and resistance, if we see a further rejection here, we should find some support at just underneath 63,000. And below that, we have some more support at close to 62,000, around 61.9k, give or take, and a major area of support in between around 60.2k to 61.2k. And as for resistance, of course, we have this area of resistance that I've already been warning about since before we saw this rejection, and that's sitting in between around 64.1k to 64,500 approximately. So right at around 64,500, give or take, we have some major resistance that we need to pay attention to. And once again, that is the level that we really need to break out above very soon over the next few days in order to continue this short-term bullish trend. And if we can finally see a breakout above around 64,500, in that case, we still have this massive area of resistance based on previous resistance and support in the price, and also a major area of traded volume in the volume profile indicator acting as very strong resistance, sitting in between around 67 to 68,000 approximately, as we saw back here near the end of July. Previously, that was massive resistance. And so ultimately, we need to see a confirmed breakout above around 68,000 in order to flip much more bullish again on the larger timeframes when we're talking about the longer term trends that could last for many months, maybe even up to a year. If we're talking about the larger trend, once again, as of right now, we're still bearish unless we see a breakout above 68,000. At that point, we can finally start flipping bullish on the larger timeframes. And in the short term, technically speaking, we're still within the short term bullish trend, but that could potentially change very soon soon if we see more confirmation for this hidden bearish divergence. But of course, this short-term cool-off that we've seen over the last one day was expected either way, because if you watched my last video here on the channel, I said that over the next 1 or 2 days, expect a short-term cool-off, mostly in the form of either some sideways price action, choppy sideways price action, or potentially a slight pullback. That's what I said yesterday, and since yesterday, we've seen exactly that as expected. And of course, that's a result of this overbought signal, which did confirm just over a day ago here in the 4-hour RSI. And so when we see that signal confirm, that's telling us that we're running out of room to the upside, at least in the imminent short term, and we're due to see a reset in the RSI. And by resetting the RSI, we can either see neutral price action or bearish price action, because both neutral price action and bearish price action can help to reset the RSI back to the downside towards more neutral levels out of overbought territories. And so far, we've seen exactly that as expected. But as of right now, obviously the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI is definitely not in overbought territories as of right now. In fact, for now, we're actually closer towards the neutral level, closer towards 50 than we are to the overbought territories above 70. And so this, of course, means we have now already seen a decent reset in the RSI, which has now given us more room to the upside. So there is the possibility that we could continue this bullish trend if we see a rebound back to the upside very, very soon and a breakout above this resistance once again. Ideally, that needs to happen in the next few days or so in order to continue this bullish trend in the short term. And so there's the possibility that this cool-off could play out like this previous cool-off, where we have perhaps a couple of days of a short-term pullback or some sideways price action, just a break from the short-term bullish trends for a couple of days, but that does not necessarily mean the bullish trend is over. But if we see any more than that sort of price action, so if we see more of a pullback that lasts for maybe a week, for example, then it's pretty safe to say at that point that the short-term bullish trend is over and we're about to see a continuation of the larger bearish trend if we see too much bearish price action over the next half a week to 1 week. And so that is the situation for Bitcoin right now in the short term. Those are the signals that are affecting the price of Bitcoin right now, and the potential signals that could be soon affecting the price of Bitcoin if we see more confirmation. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also only if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now, where you could potentially win up to $100,000 just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But with that being said, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitfinex. So I'll also leave a link to Bitfinex down below this video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page where you can potentially get a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that is only if you use the link below this video to get that exclusive bonus. And so as another option out there other than Bybit, once again, there's Bitfinex, links down below if you want to claim those extra free bonuses. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and right now we have more liquidity building both to the upside and to the downside, which is very interesting. So right now we have a major area of liquidity that's building right at around 62.3k, and we still have this area of liquidity to the upside at around 64.2k to 64,500. And so those are the important areas to watch out for here in the short term. And there's the possibility that we could play out a bit of choppy sideways price action here to take out both of those levels. Perhaps we dip below that level of liquidity first and then bounce back up, or vice versa. We take out the upside liquidity and then see another rejection from that resistance to take out the downside liquidity. So just keep that in mind. There's major levels of liquidity either side of the price of Bitcoin here in the short term right now. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, and right now we're continuing to see the bounce from this major area of support as expected, sitting in between around 2150 to 2.2k. So that area is still acting as strong support. And as for resistance, we still have a critical level of resistance at around 2.8k. And I would only start flipping much more bullish again on the larger time frames for the larger trends, the longer term trend. I'd only start flipping more bullish again on that longer term trend if we see a confirmed breakout above 2.8k, which for now obviously has not happened. But of course, as I've already been saying over and over again here on the channel, we're still within a short-term bullish trend during the larger bearish trend, because yes, that's possible. In case you're new to the channel, we can see short-term bullish trends during the larger bearish trend. And so over the last couple of weeks or so, that's exactly what we've seen as expected, mainly due to this massive bullish divergence that has already been playing out over the last couple of weeks or so, which obviously I've been talking about since all the way back down here. And technically speaking, it is still active because we've not confirmed an invalidation signal to invalidate the bullish divergence. So at least for now, the bullish divergence on the daily time frame is still technically active. But if we're zooming further into the short term on the 3-hour time frame, of course, over the last couple of days, the 3-hour Ethereum RSI has entered well into overbought territories, telling us we're reaching an upside limit here in the short term. We're running out of room to the upside. And so it's very likely that over the next 1 or 2 days, potentially, we're likely going to see at least some choppy sideways price action, or potentially a bit more of a pullback here in the short term, just basically a bit of a break from this short-term bullish trend, kind of like what we saw just here or just here, for example. But it's important to understand that we don't always see a major pullback like this. Sometimes we might just see a bit of choppy sideways price action, which can also help to reset the RSI, giving us more room to the upside later on. And so ultimately, just over the next 1 day or so, 1 or 2 days, that's what I'm currently expecting here in the short term. But this is not necessarily a bearish trend reversal signal, which means it is still possible that we could see a bit of a cool off, but we can still remain within the short-term bullish trend, which once again, if we're zooming out, is within a much larger bearish trend. So it's important to understand the difference between the different timeframes. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame, right now we're still holding above this major area of previous resistance, which should now act as major support, sitting in between around 138 to 143. So once again, right now we're coming in for a retest, and that should now act as support. And as for resistance, we do have a small amount of resistance at around 153 to 154, and that's pretty much exactly where we rejected from. We were only just a few cents off 153 before we rejected here just in the short term. And above that level of resistance, we also have this major area of resistance right here in between around 159 to 163. And technically speaking, this bullish divergence is still actively playing out. So the shorter term trend is still looking bullish. But remember, during a bullish trend, we can see the occasional pullback from time to time. And this was expected because once again, if you watched my last video, I said that over the next few days, we should be expecting a bit of a pullback or at least some choppy sideways price action, because the 8-hour RSI for Solana has confirmed an overbought signal. And so that's what's playing out right now in the imminent short term, and will likely continue to play out at least for the next day, maybe over the next couple of days, considering this is on the 8-hour time frame, not just the 4-hour or the 3-hour time frame like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And so the type of price action that we've seen over the last 1 day is the same type of price action that I continue to expect over the next 1 to 2 days as the most likely scenario here in the short term. But for as long as we're holding above this area on the chart, once again, in between 138 to 143, which should be acting as support, for as long as we're holding above that area, technically speaking, we can remain within the bullish trend. It's just right now we're seeing a bit of a cool off, a bit of a pullback during the short-term bullish trend. And if we break back below 138, it'll be clear at that stage that the short-term bullish trend is over, because we'll be breaking back into this choppy sideways price range in between this support and this resistance once again. And this support is sitting in between 120 to 128, and that area of resistance would once again be acting as resistance in between 138 to 143 if we break back below 138. But for now, that is acting as support and the trend is bullish, but we're seeing a short-term cool off from overbought territories during the bullish trends. That is the current situation. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.